Cool Water Eau de Toilette by Davidoff. I was laying in bed this morning and I was waking up and I started thinking about fragrances, of course. And I started thinking about, something. I was thinking to myself, I've been really enjoying so much doing reviews the last few weeks. I've been really enjoying it and it's made me happy to talk about fragrances lately. And I was like, something, I want to talk about fragrances again today. I want to do another fragrance review today. But what shall it be? And I was thinking about it. And I was also thinking about my channel. I was like, something, I was thinking about one thing I like about my channel and my reviews is I like to have a big variety of all different kinds of fragrances that I talk about. I like to talk about really expensive fragrances, designer fragrances, really inexpensive fragrances. I also like to talk about fragrances that I really, really love. And I like to talk about fragrances that I think are okay and just smell good. But I also feel like it's my responsibility if I have a fragrance that I hate or can't stand, I need to talk about those fragrances too because I want to explain why I don't like those fragrances. So I have such a wide variety of fragrances that I talk about. And I was like, something, over the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of fragrances that I really love. Um, and also have done quite a few fragrances that I can't stand. So I was like, I want to do one sort of in the middle. A fragrance that smells good and I like, but it's nothing mind blowing or nothing really wrong with it, sort of like in the middle. So I was looking through some of my fragrances and I spotted Cool Water. I was like, I want to talk about that because I like that fragrance a lot. It smells good, but it's nothing mind blowing. But I can't really say anything bad about it either. So I'll talk about Cool Water. Plus, I haven't talked about Cool Water in a long time. So I'll do this one. So I grabbed my big old huge 200 ml of Cool Water, grabbed a pen and my notepad, and this is how I like to do reviews. I like to get um, my note stuff together so I can take notes, and I like to wear the fragrance as I'm preparing for a review so I can, if I haven't worn a fragrance in a long time, I can sort of get familiar with it again. I can think about the fragrance while I'm taking notes. So that's what I did. I sprayed like 3 sprays here, 3 sprays here, some on my neck, and I started taking notes and I started getting whiffs of this and I was writing down what it was doing, and I smelled my arm and I was like, this smells really good. And I noticed over the last few minutes, over the next like 30 minutes, I was like, something? I don't think I've ever enjoyed this fragrance more than I do right now. And I'm very, very familiar with this fragrance because I started wearing this fragrance, I think probably about 1989, 1990 is when I started wearing this fragrance. So I'm very familiar with it. But for some reason, I've always liked it. But for some reason, today, it's just, I like this fragrance better than I ever have in my entire life. And I think it's a combination of because I was actually really thinking about the fragrance and, really experiencing it and really thinking about the notes and what I was smelling and the accords that I was smelling from what the notes were creating. And plus, I've had this bottle for like um, a couple of years. So this particular bottle has like macerated really well over the last 2 years. It's sort of like, um, I guess I could compare it to wine. When it ages, it makes it even better. That's sort of what macerating is as far as the fragrance. It's sort of like over a period of time, all these notes and all the ingredients and materials sort of like blend together and mesh together and make it even smoother and nicer than it ever has before. So I think it's a combination of those two things is why I've enjoyed this fragrance today more than I ever have in my entire life. But let me go ahead and give you the notes and a little bit of information before I go on. This come out in 1988. I remember when this first come out in 1988. This was extremely popular from 88 through the early 90s. Absolutely everybody had this fragrance. Everybody was wearing it, male and female, especially the teenagers and the people in their 20s. I was in my, I guess, mid 20s in 88, mid to late 20s. So I was even wearing it. But you could not walk into a high school or um, a bar or an arcade or a movie theater or a mall without smelling cool water in the air from 88 to the early 90s. Everybody had this. It was so popular. Um, so I know this fragrance very well from just wearing it and smelling it throughout the like late 80s and early 90s. The perfumer is Pierre Bourdon. The notes to this, the top notes is peppermint, lavender, rosemary, orange blossom, and cologne. I'll explain what cologne is in just a second. Heart notes is jasmine, sandalwood, oak moss, geranium, and green notes. Base notes is cedar, amber, and musk. Now, I'll tell you what I get in general from the opening to the first half of this fragrance. The most dominant thing that I get from this fragrance is the mint or peppermint. It's very dominant for the first couple of hours, but it's very pleasant. It's very fresh and refreshing and energizing. It's a really, really good mint note, a mint peppermint note. I also get lavender. The lavender in here is a very smooth, comforting lavender. Is very elegant. It has a little bit of powdery and soapiness to the lavender. It actually is a really good pairing with the energizing mint. It's like a combination of really fresh and energizing with the comforting and smooth lavender. It's a really nice combination. I'll also get cologne in here. Cologne is an aroma molecule or a fragrant molecule that gives a sea breeze, ocean breeze, sea breeze accord. And it also has a little bit of like a melon, watermelon, cucumber, watery vibe in there too that makes it even more pleasant. There's a little bit of rosemary in here to give it a little bit of rosemary, um, which I love rosemary. It gives a little bit of herbalness, a little bit of green notes in there. It's very, very pleasant, very fresh, cool, smooth. In the mid, you get a little bit of that geranium and jasmine that gives it a little bit of floral sweetness. In the dry down, you still get all that stuff. You still get the smooth, cool, refreshing lavender and mint in the dry down, but in the dry down, there's a lot of musk and oak moss that come in to give it a little bit of masculine maturity in the dry down. It's just such a feel good fragrance. It has a combination of so many good things: energizing, refreshing, smells like the ocean. There's a little bit of cooling, like melon note, herbal from the rosemary. It's just so, it makes me feel so good. That's one reason I love fragrances so much, is because how they make me feel. And this makes me feel so good, especially today after wearing this. It's so soothing and nice and pleasant. And I think the name Cool Water is perfect for this fragrance because it does smell like cool water in a way. Um, but even though this come out in 1988, I know this is still a well known fragrance in the fragrance community, even today in 2021. I know everybody out there has heard of this, but I don't know if everybody has actually smelled this fragrance. Maybe some of the younger people have not smelled this fragrance, but I really recommend this because it's such a feel good fragrance. It makes you feel so good. It's so comforting and relaxing, but energizing and fresh at the same time. It's so well blended. It's just so nice. Everybody can enjoy this. Everybody, young, old, men, women, everybody can wear this. Um, but yeah, if you haven't got your nose on this, get your nose on this. I looked online before I did this review to see how much this was going for today, and this is still so inexpensive. I got this I got this particular bottle like 2 years ago for like under 30 bucks. This is a 200 mil. Um, and it's still about the same price. You can get this for like $30 for 200 mil. But if you don't want this much, they have 125 mil that will last you for a very long time for under $20. So I really recommend that everybody get their nose on this um, because it just makes you feel so good. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and I will put a link in the description on where you can get this if you want it. So I love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.